This problem asks us to find the main purpose of the text. So when we're reading, we should consider the why is the author writing. So the text says in 2007, computer scientist Louis von Ahn was working on converting printed books into digital format. He found that some words were distorted enough that digital scanners couldn't recognize them, but most humans could easily read them. Based on this finding, von Ahn invented a simple security test to keep bots out of websites. The first version of reCAPTCHA test asked users to type one known word and one of the many words scanners couldn't recognize. Correct answers proved the users were human and added to the book digitizing project. So a good step is to form our own idea of why the author is writing. Based on what I've underlined, I kind of get an idea that the author is trying to talk about and kind of like discuss how On's digitization works, and how it led to reCAPTCHA. So based off this, we can kind of look at the answers and see which one kind of goes most closely to this idea of our why. Is it to discuss von Ahn's invention of reCAPTCHA? I kind of like that because it does talk about reCAPTCHA. It talks about his invention of this reCAPTCHA, and it kind of discusses this whole idea. So this is a very possible explanation. B says to explain how digital scanners work. I could see this is a close second, but it really only mentions digital scanners once. He found that some words were distorted enough that digital scanners couldn't recognize them. The relationship between digital scanners in this reCAPTCHA is basically digital scanners are kind of like the bots. And it doesn't really explain the bots. It just explains the origins of von Ahn's findings. So that's why B is not correct. Then it says C, to call attention to von Ahn's book digitization project. And they really only mention the book digitization project right at the very end. So it seems like this is a very small or minute detail. So the focus isn't to call attention to this. So we can mark that as wrong. And then D is to indicate how popular reCAPTCHA is. I kind of get the idea that it's talking about the origin. It's not, if it was saying like, hey, there's 50 million people that use reCAPTCHA, then I would kind of get the idea of how popular it is, but it's not really doing this. So we can mark D as wrong, and we'll go with A and say A is the correct answer, and then move on.